welcome back. I hope you're having a great day. I know I am. Today we're going to start with a quick review of what we learned last week. This is important because we're going to take our very first Show What You Know today. A Show What You Know is like a check for understanding or a CFU that you would take during school. A Show What You Know is important because it shows your teacher what parts of subtraction you're getting really good at and what parts of subtraction you might still need help with. That's why it's important to try your very best. It's just like in sports, when you're practicing with your coach. Your coach is watching so that they know what they need to help you with. If you play soccer, you might need help kicking goals. If you play basketball, you might be really good at shooting free throws, but you might need help passing to your friends. And if you're a dancer, you might need help with a specific part of the dance. Your coach is watching you so that they know where to help you. And just like a coach, your teacher is watching your subtraction practice so that we can always work at being the very best learner that we can be. Now, it's probably been a few days since you were working on subtraction. So before we jump right in and work on the Show What You Know, we're going to do a quick review. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we're going to play Get Close to Zero again today, but we're going to play it with some bigger numbers. Hope you're ready. Let's get started.
Let's start our quick review. Last week, we learned how adding and subtracting were similar and used open number lines to show our work. We looked at equations like 2 plus 3 equals 5 and 5 minus 3 equals 2. Then we practiced adding and subtracting from two-digit numbers. We looked at equations like 23 minus 5. We drew open number lines starting with 23. To subtract, we did in jumps. Our first jump to a near 10, like 20, so 23 minus 3 is 20. And then we had to take 2 more away. 2 and 3 make 5. 20 minus 2 is 18. Finally, we practiced adding and subtracting multiples of 10, like 48 minus 20. We did this in 2 jumps. 48 minus 10 equals 38, minus another 10 equals 28, because 10 and 10 make 20. Then we did it with 1 jump. 48 minus 20 equals 28. Turn to page 20. You are going to play Get Close to Zero with 6 rolls again today. Remember, the goal is to get as close to 0 as possible without dropping below 0. You must use all 6 turns. If you drop below 0, you lose. Last week we played this game with the blue number cube, which has the numbers 1 through 6 on it. Today we're going to play with the white number cube, which has numbers 4 through 9 on it. Using the white number cubes means that we're going to be using bigger numbers. So how might having bigger numbers on the number cube change how you play the game? We're going to think about that as we answer the next few questions. For the first roll of the game, which numbers would you make tens? Remember, your white number cube has the numbers 4 through 9 on it. Which of those are you most likely to make a 10 on the first roll of the game?
For my first roll, I would probably use a 4, a 5, maybe a 6 as tens. I definitely wouldn't use like an 8 or a 9 as tens, because if I made it, like, let's say 80, then 100 minus 80 is 20, and that's not much to play with for 6 more turns. I think I would run out. So I think I would only use the lower numbers on the dice as tens for the first turns, or maybe even any turns.
For the first roll of the game, which numbers would you make ones? Remember, your numbers are 4 through 9. Which of those would you use as ones?
For the first roll, what numbers would I make ones? Well, I think that I would definitely use my big numbers as ones because I would not use them as tens, like I said before. So, definitely 7, 8, 9. But, I mean, maybe the other ones too, but for sure not the big numbers.
Let's take a look at this scenario. What if your score on the fourth roll was 16? You can see that at the end of roll 4, this person has 16. What would your score be if your next 2 rolls were 9s? So for roll 5 and 6, you rolled a 9. I'll give you a minute to think about that. Let's take a look at what would happen. You have to use it as a 9, so you do 16 minus 6 gets you to 10. You take away 3 more because 6 and 3 make 9, and you end up with 7. Okay, so now you have to do 7 minus 9, but that's not going to work because 7 minus 7 is 0, and then you're below 0. Your answer is less than 0, which would mean you would lose. Ugh, we don't want our next 2 rolls to be 9s. What if your score on the fourth roll was 16, but your next 2 rolls were 8s? We just did it with 9s. What happens if your next 2 rolls are 8s? Let's take a look. Use it as an 8. 16 minus 6 gets you to 10, minus 2 more because 2 and 6 equal 8. So 10 minus 2 is 8. And then we go to our next equation, 8 minus 8. 8 minus 8 equals 0. So if our next 2 rolls were 8, we'd have a perfect score of 0. That's way better than having us lose with 9s. But 8 and 9 aren't that different. 1 made us lose, the 9. The 8s gave us a perfect score. Suppose it's the last round and you have a score of 5. What number do you want to roll? Did you say 5? Because you would be correct. 5 minus 5 would be 0, which would be a perfect score. You would win with a perfect score. Now let's suppose it's the last round and you have a score of 43. What number would you want to roll this time? If you said a 4, you would be correct because you can use it as a 40. And 43 minus 40 is 3, which would give us a final score of 3. It might not be 0, but it's really close to 0. Great job. Today, you will play Get Close to 0 with 6 rolls. You can play by yourself or with a partner. But remember, today we will use the white number cubes. We've practiced some strategy. Now it's your turn. It's time for a brain break. Let's get moving, animal style. Okay, hop like a frog. Ready? Hop, hop, hop. Keep hopping. Hop, 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 hop. This time, flap your arms like a bird flying high. Ready? Flap, flap, flap. Keep flapping. Go higher. Now it's time to walk like a crab. Do that crab walk. Keep walking. A little further. Now we're going to rest like a sloth. slow like a sloth. That was an excellent brain break. Thank you. Turn to page 21. Today, in addition to playing the game, you will complete your first Show What You Know. Remember that you need to try your very best on this so your teacher knows exactly what you're doing really well with and what you need some more help with. Your teacher will check this with you. Let's take a look at the directions for Show What You Know. They're going to give you an equation. For the first step, you draw an open number line, like they did here for 72 minus 6. They made their first jump to 70, minus 2, and then they did a jump of minus 4 because 2 and 4 make 6. 70 minus 4 brought them to 66. Then you have to write the equation. 72 minus 6 equals 66. Now you're ready.
Okay, I know you're ready to go play that game, but before we say goodbye today, I want to just give one last quick review. So we're going to do 4 quick problems just to make sure our brains are top-notch and ready for that Show What You Know. Okay? Our first problem we're going to look at is 72 minus 10. We've done so many of these. So let's take a look. We know that when we subtract 10, we have a rule that we can follow for that. We know our ones place when we subtract 10 stays the same, and our tens place is going to decrease by 1 because we're subtracting a 10 from it. So that would be 62. We can check that over here. 72 minus 10. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 62. We also know that we can represent this with our open number line. Start with the first number in our equation, 72. We're subtracting, so we're going to go backwards, and we're subtracting 10, so we mark it on top. 72 minus 10 is 62. Now let's take a look at this one. This one we're not subtracting 1 10, we're actually subtracting 3 groups of 10. We can show this with our open number line. We can start with 89, go back 10, 89 minus 10, our tens place would go down by 1, so that would be 79. Well, that's only 10, we need to take away 30. So we jump another minus 10. 79 minus 10 is 69. Then we have to jump a third minus 10, because 10, 20, 30, and we need to take away that full 30. So 69 minus 10 is 59. So 89 minus 30 is 59. We know we can also show this with one jump. 89 minus 30 is 59. Okay, let's take a look at 2 more problems here. These, we're not subtracting 10s, we're just subtracting 1s. But these got a little bit tricky because sometimes we had to make more than one jump. So our first equation is 21 minus 6. Well, I know that I'm going to start with 21. When I'm subtracting and I'm going into the next tens, I want to just go to that next 10 first, make a small jump. Well, my next 10 is 20. I'm going down because I'm subtracting. To get from 21 to 20, I subtract 1. But I have to subtract 6. So how many more do I need to go? Well, 1 and what makes 6? 5. So I'm going to subtract 5. 20 minus 5 is 15. So 21 minus 6 is 15. We can check that over here as well. We can start at 21 and subtract 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 21 minus 6 is 15. One last equation. We're going to do 34 minus 7. We can start with our 34. We're subtracting, so our arrow goes backwards. Now I want to go to my next 10 down. Well, my next 10 down would be 30. 34 to 30 would be minus 4. But again, I have to go minus 7. So 4 and what make 7? Well, 4 and 3 make 7. So this one's going to be minus 3. 30 minus 3 is 27. So 34 minus 7 equals 27. And we can check that here. 34 minus 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 34 minus 7 is 27. That's it for today. I hope you're going to do your very, very best on your Show What You Know so that you and your teacher can work together to figure out what you still need practice with. Good luck and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
Please go get a parent or an adult for some important messages.